I think as we all gather today, most everybody here has been a part of what's happened here over the last 3 years, and really over the last 5. As we think back 5.5 years ago, as you said, and I stand here, we've been under 8 feet of water, and we all know what the condition of the former St. Bernard public housing complex was prior to Katrina. We all know what happened thereafter, and I think the opportunity that was presented through that the devastation of Katrina allowed us all to take a step back and really open our eyes to some different things and different opportunities. I haven't reintroduced myself, Gerard Barousse, as chairman of the Bayou District Foundation, together with Mike Rodriguez and Gary Solomon, were lucky enough to be invited by friends to Atlanta shortly after Katrina to see the vision of what a real mixed income community could be, and go visit the East Lake community, really not knowing, I think, what we thought we were going to see, and not really knowing what we'd come away with. But that visit and the leadership and vision of Tom Cousins and the East Lake Foundation and the success over the last 15 years there was something that compelled us as we got back on the plane to really look at, is this something we can do in New Orleans? Is this something that can be a difference maker? And can we affect first one part of the community and then the broader community by taking on this task? I'm not sure that we all totally knew what we were taking on. At least I didn't. But we began, and this is all about being able to make sure that we could ultimately identify the best partners to be able to make a broad vision a reality. We've been lucky to be able to have the guidance of first the East Lake community and East Lake Foundation, and ultimately purpose-built communities to really help us shape our vision, which is one that we see the first parts of as a reality today and really over the last year. The Bayou District Foundation, as we began to look at what we thought was possible here, and again, trying to look at replicating the East Lake model, we looked at the former St. Bernard public housing community because of a lot of the assets that were here, because of the schools that were in the community, because of proximity to City Park, and really saw this as the proper place if we were going to take on this task to really look at addressing making a mixed income model work. As we looked at that, we had the 54 acres of the former St. Bernard, but it really was not, you couldn't limit the redevelopment and the model to that area. It really had to be expanded over a much broader area, really as we reached north to Harrison Avenue and beyond, east to Paris Avenue, south to 610 and west to the Park. And that's a fairly daunting task. It's over 120 blocks of area, but it is something that we felt like we could ultimately have a great impact on changing the cycle of poverty by starting within this community, starting in the mixed income, with the mixed income redevelopment, and really letting that ripple out into the surrounding community. The overall model and vision encompasses a total of over 1,300 residential units, 900 of which will be mixed income. The first phase of which, the first 466 you see here today, all complete and leased, and in the process of getting the last of our residents, first phase residents, moved in. 3 schools, including our early learning facility that we're working with a national provider, Educare, to deliver, which will open next year, and will take in part the existing buildings that have been preserved as a part of our overall agreements with the Housing Authority and HUD. Additionally, a K-8 school that will be new, and working with a new school for New Orleans provider, Achille Academy, to bring them to the site so that we're really able to begin the cradle to college educational continuum. A big part of what our goal here is to really impact families, but start with the children and have the broader reach that allows us to really ensure that we are able to have a broad impact on success and opportunities provided to low-income families. And then coupling all those with and finishing with high school, that we're working with the Orleans Parish School Board and Recovery School District to bring the new McDonough 35 $50 million project across St. Bernard Avenue on the Bayou, which should start, we hope, next year. We have additional assets that we really look as being critical to the model, and as we look at the holistic model of workforce housing, education, and recreation, being able to have a YMCA actively a part of this and proximate to our school is a critical component, as well as really, I think, an element that is available to us because of our location, being able to work with City Park to redevelop golf in the park, which ultimately will provide us an opportunity to create revenues through our partnership with the park that will be able to come back into this community and support our educational programs, our community support services, and really ensure that we have the long-term sustainability that we think is critical to being able to empower and improve the lives of our residents. As I said earlier, none of this could be done without great partners. We knew when we started that it was going to be a broad task, and one that we were going to have to strike new relationships and bring in new resources. We had the privilege of working with all state and city agencies, City Park Board, but we also had the opportunity to reach out and really identify what we think were best in field partners. Columbia Residential as our residential partner, Educare and New Schools for New Orleans, and the PGA Tour as those types of folks that have really helped us move this overall model forward. And then being able to look at how we supplement all of those issues with the ongoing performance of our individual components and the support of families through people like Kingsley House are really things that we see unique in this environment, and something that we think will prove to be a model that others will look to replicate, not just in New Orleans but beyond, and part of very much similar to what I think the goals and objectives of purpose-built communities are as we move forward. I'm not here to pontificate, so I do want to be able to allow for some of our great partners the opportunity to visit and to comment from their perspective. As we initially began the process and really looking at whether this was a task that was achievable, we reached out to Councilmember Hedge Morrell and talked about the concept, and she had the audacity to actually go to Atlanta and see East Lake and to grasp it and to come back and tell us, you need to do this. And she has been a tremendous advocate and supporter and cheerleader for our efforts. She's been very integral to really looking at what we would do from an architectural standpoint, providing us great input, as well as just helping us shape the overall model. So I'd like to welcome the council member and have her.